want to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below.
So Arabella decided to my whip shots last night and my up. So now we let her open her gifts and let's see what Santa brought her. Santa ain't bring you shit. Aww. Aww. Cause you been bad. So you're not gonna get. Are you mad at me about the fake presents I gave you?
A little, but I don't care about what they say.
You don't care? Because you know I love you?
Yeah.
And you're spoiled with love?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't care what they're saying about mommy because mommy treats you right all the time, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so before we get started, and before I have a lot of the normal speakers that want to talk in the comment section, looking through her profile, looking through all the other videos, the father is clear cut in the picture. I've seen videos of him with the girlfriend or the wife directly with the child. They were celebrating Christmas and and all this other type of stuff. So yeah, the father is there. So just in case anybody want to roll up here like, oh, this wouldn't happen if the father was actually in the picture. This is what happened if a black man is black. No, he's there. He's there. So let's get on to what we're supposed to be talking about here. So you have the mother deciding that she wanted to get back at her own daughter and decide that, oh, okay, so you messed up my stuff, so I'm going to sit up there and in a sense, cause a little bit of trauma to your life. Now, note, whenever a child happens to mess up, let's say if it was like your food or you were cooking something, so you made like a baking mixture or something like that. It's not a traumatic experience. It's not anything that's going to directly break an adult because adults know it's like, all right, well, it might have took me a little bit of time to specifically get this recipe together. I can easily sit up there and do it again. It'll make you maybe a little bit angry, right? But it's not going to do anything that's going to cause a traumatic experience. And then one day you might relapse into that because of other things that take place in life where it causes you to relive that experience. But for that young girl, she will have that. That's going to be something that's going to stay with her, regardless of her basically smiling with her mother or not. That's going to be something that is going to stay with her. The mother may think that, oh, it was a joke, it was this, it was that, it really wasn't that serious. She's okay. I take care of her. She loves me. I love her. She understands what it is. Regardless of whatever she thinks, that child is going to automatically remember because I can promise you that mother more than likely keeps and remembers a lot of the things that her parents did to her that were a traumatic experience that later on her parents came back and said like, oh, it wasn't that serious and yada 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 and all that other type of no, it was. Because every experience that you have with your parent, it will shape the type of individual that you will end up being in the future. It will, in a sense, tell you how you will react to certain situations, right? It will dictate how it is that you are going to move if you have to come across certain obstacles, certain people, peer pressure, certain conversations with peers, right? Or dealing with things in the workplace and or in public. It shapes a lot of that, but for whatever reason, a lot of parents seemingly don't want to be conscious of that. And this is the main thing that I tell people before, where you should be specifically careful what it is and how it is that you treat your child. Because whatever you are doing at this moment in time is going to shape the type of teenager and adult and parent that they're going to be. And depending on how you show them how to be, they're going to end up copying specifically what it is that you are and how it is that you act and refer to certain things. So this is why you have a lot of kids out here that end up cussing. Why? Kids end up cussing because they see it directly from the home. It's not specifically from, the environment. It's not specifically from their peers. It's not specifically from the neighbors. It's directly coming from the parents. And a lot of parents want to sit up and say, "Oh, it's not my fault. I told them not to cuss. Regardless of whatever I do, you're your own individual person. I taught you this. I taught you that." You're right. But you're teaching them two different ways. You're teaching them by physical action, or you're teaching them by verbal. And I'm not even going to get into the non-verbal. I'm not even going to get into that third one. But those main two actions is mainly what kids will directly pay attention to. The nonverbal is a little bit later on because that has to deal with looking at body language, how people emotionally react physically to something. They might not specifically, in a sense, show it, but it's there because kids have that type of like intuition. They have that type of eyesight where they can read a room before an adult can even read themselves. And like I said again, this is when adults need to take very, very special care of the things that they put directly in front of and give specifically to a child. Because regardless on whatever people want to say, a lot of kids are smarter than adults. Kids can walk into a room and read everybody's energy, while adults are just trying to process what it is that they're going to eat while they're in that exact same room. Like I said, it's two different playing fields. The only reason that that disappears from a child is due to the fact that we break them out of that whole thought process. We break them out of that reality because that goes into the whole other aspect of telling kids that, oh, you need to grow up, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to get out of this fairy tale and into the real world. And that's why a lot of kids don't have the same type of dream like mentality where they can create and they can read certain stuff later on. That's because it's directly pulled out of them, because that's directly what parents have done to their kids, and so on and so on and so on. It's a, it's a long, chain, whatnot or whatever. But anyways, again, this is why parents need to specifically be very careful what it is that they hand over to their kids, because it will shape them or it can very easily break them. So again, this mother right here, this is the main thing that I happen to talk about when I'm directly on this platform. When people want to get on my content and why it is that I'm specifically doing this and doing that. And I told people before, regardless on if the father is present in the house or not, things like this will still take place. And then you'll have those other people who's like, okay, well, yeah, the father is there, but he's there physically, but obviously he's not there, visibly. He's not there verbally. Because if he was a real father, then he would have, man, like I said, y'all, y'all will come up with every single excuse in a book to try to aim this directly at a black man, when this specifically realistically has to deal with the relationship that black women have with each other. This has to deal with the relationship that a black woman has with herself. This has to deal with the relationship that a black daughter, being the mother who is, now a parent, had with her mother before her, and so on and so on and so on. That's the bigger scope. That's the bigger picture. So again, this whole video has nothing to do with the black man at all. I listed that to get past a lot of the nonsense that I normally see in the comment section, because people have such a type of loathing for black men and always want to specifically blame black men whenever they see some shift and happen. Oh, it's a black man's fault. Nah, nah. I've stated countless times in a multitude of videos the reason why black women have the interactions, the reason why black women have the attitudes, the reason why black women treat other black women the way that they do, stems from the fact of the relationship that they have, not only with themselves, not only the relationships that they have with their daughters, but also the relationships that they have with their own mothers. This is why you see a lot of black women treating each other in such evil ways, doing demonic things to one another, wanting to go out there and take another woman's life. But like I said, you list all of that, you start bringing up stats, you start showing a lot of videos, you start bringing up a lot of stories, and people are like, oh well, you know what, it's the black man's fault at the end of the day, because the black man is basically the pillar, he's the head of the household, and if the black man was actually there, then obviously some type of control would be set in place where he wouldn't allow the mother to sit up there and do this, or even if he is there, he's obviously really not a real black man because he's allowing the mother to sit up and just do whatever he wants, whatever she wants to do directly to the child. This is why things will never get fixed in the black community, because the moment in time people decide that they want to put the weight specifically on one person. I've said a multitude of times on this platform, like, yo, black men got their stuff specifically that they need to sit up there and handle, and black women especially have their things that they specifically need to handle. I cannot sit up there and handle or deal with, in a sense, women's issues that are specifically women's issues. I can highlight those issues. I can sort of kind of talk about those issues, but when it goes to, in depth, real type of conversations, you need a book in order to do that. Meaning you need black women to come out here and actually talk about this and to be honest about this and to validate the information so that other black women know and understand what it is. But even within that, as I stated before, I've watched countless black women in their platforms. No matter how much truth those black women put out, black women will still get on those black women because they're being honest and telling the truth. So again, black women, this is many of you. You have bad relationships with other black women and also your mothers. These are the things that y'all need to sit up there and fix so that you don't pass this same mentality, the same type of loathing down to your own daughters.